Across the smoky Australian plains, an Aboriginal girl named Tumi runs toward the forest. Meanwhile, fleeing the virus, an ordinary Australian family continues their journey. Andy, his wife Kay, and their young daughter Rosie are floating down the river in a small houseboat. Suddenly, Andy notices a couple of children playing on the shore. Andy greets them, but their father appears and unfriendlily shows his revolver, forbidding them to dock at the shore. As a result, Andy continues to float further down the river. In the evening of the same day, Andy and Kay dock for the night. The head of the family notices strange-looking first aid kits in the river. He pulls them out and finds a syringe and instructions inside. The family is running out of food, so Kay insists on getting to the nearest town for provisions as soon as possible. But Andy doesn't agree because it's too risky to go ashore now. Andy suggests they follow the plan and go ashore where a hospital and living people are. After a while, Andy spots a yacht half sunk off the coast and takes a boat to explore it. The yacht turns out to be abandoned, but inside he finds a lot of provisions and a bottle of wine. After gathering the food, Andy suddenly hears a strange sound coming from the closet. Frightened by this sound, he quickly gets out of the boat and returns to his houseboat. He happily tells his wife about his find, but is silent about the strange sound he heard on the boat. A short while later, Andy heads off to rest, and Kay goes on the yacht to gather more useful items. She manages to find what she was looking for, but she doesn't get away in time. Someone attacks her. Andy wakes up to a crying baby and goes looking for Kay. He sees marks of blood on the floor and then finds his wife trying to cover a bleeding bite on her leg in bathroom. Kay thinks she was bitten by one of the zombies who have occupied all of Australia. They put a special timer on her hand from the first aid kit, and now Kay has 48 hours, after which she'll turn into a zombie herself. So they decide to walk to the nearest center for the infected, abandoning their houseboat and landing on shore. After gathering some food, they set off. As soon as they leave the river, they see the burnt corpses of people. Their bodies are pierced with spears, and their heads are buried in the ground. Meanwhile, Aboriginal girl Tumi catches a hare. She throws it into a deep pit and covers her ears with her hands so she can't hear the sounds of the little animal being eaten. Out on the road, Andy and Kay spot a car, fill the gas tank, and drive off, nearly becoming a prey for one of the zombies. During another stop, while Andy is looking at a map, Kay is changing her daughter's diapers. Suddenly, she has a seizure. She falls to the ground and red mucus spurts out of her mouth. At this time, Tumi throws food into the pit again, but she doesn't hear any sounds. The pit turns out to be empty and whoever was inside has escaped. Frightened, Tumi runs off to find him. Kay wakes up in the car in the passenger seat and checks the wound, which is oozing yellow slime. She realizes she doesn't have much time left to live, so she tries to kill herself to avoid putting her family in danger. Andy, not wanting to leave his wife, convinces her to keep driving. Suddenly, a lone man appears on the road. Trying to pass him, Andy fails to steer, crashes into a tree, and loses consciousness. A couple of hours later, he wakes up to find that his wife has already turned into a zombie, as a snag has pierced her stomach. Unfortunately, she bites him when he wants to save his daughter. After getting Rosie out of the car, Andy goes back and sticks a special syringe from the first aid kit in his wife's head. Andy takes his wife's bracelet, puts it on his arm, and sets the countdown to 48 hours, then sets off with Rosie. Soon he sees the man who caused their accident, but realizes it is a zombie. The man wants to kill him, but Tumi appears and protects the zombie. She says that this zombie is her father. Then she wounds her arm, and the zombie goes for the smell of blood. Andy continues on his way, and after a few hours comes to a small village in which lanterns are lit. Perhaps there are living people here. Andy enters one of the houses and meets Edda, a former teacher, who helps him clean his wound and offers to stay the night. She tells him about Tumi and her tribesmen, who burn bonfires to lure in zombies and then kill them. She also says that they need to find a man named Willie who can help Andy. Andy herself doesn't have long to live because of cancer, so she can't keep Rosie with her. The man sets off again. On the way, he finds Vic, a man with a rifle who is stuck in a pit and can't get out. Andy helps him. Then Vic takes them with him to a gas outpost where he and a girl named Lorraine live. Vic offers to leave Rosie with Lorraine while he takes Andy with him to his so-called job and leads him to the cage where Tumi is sitting. There are zombies gathered around the cage, which Vic kills and then searches their clothes for valuables. It turns out that Vic traps the natives and locks them in cages, baiting the zombies. He then kills the zombies and collects various valuables from them. He hopes that when the zombies are gone and everything is back to normal, gold and money will regain value. After the cage with Toomey, they go to another cage. A man from the same tribe as Toomey, whom she calls Wiseman, sits in it. Vic kills the zombies again and takes their belongings. Andy realizes he's about to become a zombie, so he gets up at night, kisses his daughter, and goes away from home to kill himself, but Lorraine stops him. She's holding Rosie in her arms and is about to run away. She tells Andy that Vic tricked her husband and that he left him and the other workers at the gas plant to die, and he himself ran away. She says she can take care of Rosie if Andy helps her. However, Vic catches them off guard and then knocks Andy out. Waking up, Andy realizes that he is chained to Toomey. They agree to help each other to escape and use their wits to open the cage. The two of them sneak into Vic's house, steal Rosie and wake Lorraine. Together they escape, but Vic wakes up and wants to shoot them. However, Lorraine sacrifices herself and Toomey with Andy manage to escape. They go to the second cage, but Wiseman is no longer there. The next day, Toomey finds her father murdered by men of her own tribe. Toomey grieves and chases Andy away, but when she hears the girl crying, she catches up with them and agrees to help. They take a motorboat to the spot on the shore where Andy saw the family a few days ago. He plans to give them Rosie before he turns into a zombie himself. After a while, Andy sees a man in the woods digging a grave with his children and wife sitting nearby. It turns out that the man has also been bitten by zombies, and to save his family from the horrible fate, he wants to shoot them and then shoot himself. He quietly suggests that Andy take the gun back afterwards because there will be 2 bullets left in it for Andy and his daughter, but Andy refuses and leaves. Soon he hears gunshots, and then a man catches up with him and shoots himself in the head, after which Andy takes his gun. Toomey smears her face and Rosie's face with a special cream that will make them invisible to the zombies. Then Toomey suggests that they go to where her family is. They go over a bridge and then through a tunnel where dozens of sleeping zombies are hiding. At the exit of the tunnel, Andy sees Vic's truck and himself. Vic spots Andy and Toomey too. He beats the girl and she hits her head on the rail. Andy and Vic get into a fight. Andy tries to shoot him, but only wounds him with his gun. He himself is wounded as well. Vic grabs Rosie and threatens to kill her. However, after much persuasion, with tears in his eyes, he agrees to give up the girl and let them go. After a while, the smoke from the bonfire shows ahead, but Toomey is completely weakened and can hardly walk, and Andy is already starting to turn into a zombie, but he doesn't give up. He is determined to get his daughter to safety. On the way, Andy notices the remains of an animal and takes some of the guts with him. In the meantime, the natives sweep the area killing the zombies. They then throw them into the bonfires and burn them. Feeling that he doesn't have much time left, Andy asks Toomey to make a promise that she'll get Rosie to safety. After saying goodbye to his daughter, he figures out a way for the girl to reach her family despite her weakness. He wraps the guts of the animal around a stick, hoists his daughter on his back, and places Toomey on top. The Aboriginal warriors have finished the cleanup and are about to leave, but Toomey whistles a special way to get their attention. She rides out of the smoke on Andy, who has turned into a zombie, which she controls with a branch with guts. Toomey says goodbye to Andy, after which he is killed with a spear, and the girls are taken to safety, where many survivors have already gathered, waiting for Australia to finally be cleared of zombies.